everybody. Welcome to Table TechTalk, where we try to discuss a bunch of interesting things that happen around the world in the world of tech. We'll start with some individual topics today and whatever that might have transpired in the last month or so. And we'll just try to think of ways if we can come up with some discussion topics around the topics and if that might be interesting to you as well, join the conversation. Feel free to comment where down below somewhere, right? And So first of all, some introductions. We are a bunch of guys working in the tech sector in Helsinki. Here we have Prajalosti, myself Gautam Raj Mokhtan.
Hello.
Sandeep Tamrakar, and our very own Nivas Maske here. All right, so guys, what did you find interesting in the news cycle last month? Let's start from Sandeep Dai. Yeah.
So what I've been hearing more about is about this ChatGPT, like how it's taking the world. First of all, ChatGPT has been on the market for a couple of weeks now, and it has created some sort of a disruptive technology. Even Elon Musk says ChatGPT is scary good. We are not far from dangerous strong AI. So does it really that scary? Is it that disruptive, or how is the world gonna look like in near future when ChatGPT is taking over the world?
Yeah, it's been quite interesting. Yeah, it's been like when was this last release actually? Like was it
November, at the end of November.
30th of November.
30th of November. Yeah, they released this. The OpenAI Foundation, right? They released this and they started. Yeah, people started to post some screenshots of stupid questions they were asking it, and then became viral.
Yeah. So first of all, it was I think it was developed for writing some poems or music or songs. People have started using it to write malwares. That's scary.
Oh, yeah. So ChatGPT is writing malware for you. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that people are doing it for writing codes. Yes.
Yeah.
Have you been using it? I mean, writing some code. I mean, have you asked some code?
Yeah. I have been. So optimizing code snippets, I think that's where some use case I've experienced myself. Give it a set of things and it gives you a well optimized code. Refactoring, those are like if you use it to augment your workflow. That's one way of using it, but people have been using it in all sorts of ways, and I think the biggest one is the memes all over, asking it questions like there's riddles, and it's getting confused that it couldn't answer.
Yeah, I was challenging because I had looked like quite a lot of examples which are like simple coding, like trying to do some simple C code or Python code. Then I was thinking like let's give some challenging exercise to ChatGPT. So why don't I ask like the algorithm that we use in the like a radio optimizations, like which I'm more familiar with. So even like when I ask them like, please do the optimization, please write some code of these optimizations in the Python, then I was quite surprised. Like it even know like what does it mean, and then it was giving me at least like one frame, not even the framework, but like a real Python code. I don't know, like does it write it itself or does it find it somewhere? Because I'm pretty sure like at least like the code base of that algorithm shouldn't be quite easily available in the internet.
Yeah.
So what is the technology behind ChatGPT actually? Can somebody?
Yeah. Well, I think for me, what I understood, it's one use case of the GPT-3, I believe, and it has been quite massive. One of the large language models, natural language processing models, I think, and so it was kind of an evolution of the whole language models that has been taking all over the world since the past year, but. Apart from that, I haven't looked much deeply into the specifics of ChatGPT. GPT-3 itself, I think it was like consuming some 800 GB or so, or in that ballpark. of memory just to run it, and that was quite surprising for me.
Yeah, just for inference.
Yeah. So
training, I think it took like
several billions of parameters.
So what is the source data set for the training? Is it like the same what the Google uses as well? Like different web pages and this kind of stuff?
Yeah, well, from what I heard, it is like reading everything on the internet like Google is. But I could be wrong.
It's quite different than just search engine.
So
the search engine just indexes web page on the internet, whereas this tries to answer some sort of analytical answers.
So it says there that it was trained using basically man pages about the internet and programming languages, as well as bulletin boards and Python programming language.
Okay, so it is not.
Maybe we have.
It is kind of trying to avoid the noise of the internet by reading this bulletin board, or maybe the high quality ones.
Yeah, but then this is just one of the models that came from the natural language processing side. But then there was before that, just before November, it was all about diffusion and this
stable diffusion. Prompting it to create pictures based on some word prompt.
Yeah, they also have this DALI 2, which is more like a AI art generator.
Yeah.
And also they have some technology called Whisper that recognizes speech. So this is kind of an interesting time. We have ChatGPT, which can provide all sort of different analytical answers, and then you have deep fake, which you can use to create videos. And I'm sure there are lots of audio generators as well, or speaker or avatar creator. So in future, it's going to. I think it's going to be very dangerous. And one of the biggest challenge would be to how to detect that certain content, like a document or text or a video, has been created by this AI bots and not human. Right now in Google we have this CAPTCHA thing to separate bots from human.
Yeah.
But in future, when everything will be controlled by bots, how are we going to detect?
How do you determine if it's a human or
so
the Turing test has failed, or kind of
if a student submit an assignment using ChatGPT, how does the professor know that this is
I'm
the
sure
student has done the work?
Kids of today, I think that the whole teaching process is gonna have to adapt to this new phenomenon, right? I mean, the teachers will have to assume that they will have all the help they can, and then have to evaluate accordingly whether or the kinds of assignments they give would also probably change. I mean, when we were students ourselves, it was all the
we didn't even have.
There was basic
Wikipedia.
plagiarism checks tests, tools were just in the market only. In the tech, at least in our universities, it was they were just starting to use it, and even those were you could argue that whether it is. It can be called plagiarized or not, but we used to hear department stories about the tool kind of detected that you have copied the stuff, but this is gonna affect many aspects of the modern society. Talking about that, I was also intrigued by the fact that when you mentioned if this was human or not, then it relates to, there's been a lot of discussions going about, especially about when the stable diffusion and those DALI came, people were talking about who owns the copyright of the art, right? Because they were saying that it has been trained on lots of actual people's human art, and then if that has been fed into the training data, so who owns actually the copyright? So that's
many interesting questions.
Yeah,
we need to answer.
Yeah, remember there was this picture that got viral where chimpanzee or some
exactly. There was a
monkey,
photographer in the wildlife photographer. Yeah, exactly.
His selfie, and then all of a sudden this went viral, and then
does the monkey own the copyright?
Yeah, so
of the picture. It was a really nice picture.
He had a big discussion
monkey taking
over.
selfie, or was it? some
Yeah.
shape.
I think the court decided that it's the monkey who owns the copyright.
Yeah, monkey selfie copyright dispute. There's a big, Wikipedia page about that. I mean, let's see if I can put this as as a screenshot for you guys to see. This was the picture. So this was a pretty interesting. So actually, I think this began with some random people copied the picture and published it, and then the photographer disputed it, and then
Yes.
the debate began.
I mean, similar to these cases, if a ChatGPT writes some text and you submit it to academic paper or journal, who owns the copyright?
Who owns the IPR? Yeah, exactly. So there's already been like so much, articles, scientific articles that have ChatGPT as one of the authors. Like I think I heard even first author as the ChatGPT. But yeah, that's gonna bring interesting.
Recently, ChatGPT in some university, ChatGPT was tested for this MBA exam, and it passed with B or B minus.
Oh, it.
Yeah.
Okay, it
So
did
higher
better
than
than
the average
average.
grade.
Yes, exactly.
So you can think that it's quite smart.
One thing is that whatever it produces, the answers it gives, it's very consistent. It's very well written. So maybe that's one of the reasons that we are biased. So the content-wise, it's not always that clever. But then it tries. It is so good at what it
Confident,
says.
and it's
I mean,
confident.
yes,
It
exactly.
appears
It-
confident. It's a very good bullshit artist.
Yeah,
Even when it,
yeah. Even if it doesn't know, like it says it so well that you really want to trust it. So that's
I mean,
maybe one.
this is really a disruptive technology. So Microsoft is spending like billions of dollars investing.
Yeah,
quite
it burns so much to maintain that system.
And
of
recently,
course.
there's Google. They came up with this chatbot called Brad, and it didn't answer it properly.
Oh,
So
had
they
to because
they lost like 100
Billion.
billions overnight.
Overnight,
the stock
yes,
prices
$1
are-
billion.
That's
Their
good.
market
So-
value
so
was lost
we
overnight.
can just imagine how big this market is.
Yeah, of course. They had to. They were probably forced to, put up something out there to compete to answer for the ChatGPT, thing
yeah.
that Bing was trying to
So
come
I
up.
guess they were under big
Yeah,
pressure.
they wanted to resurrect Bing, come back.
They have
with
always
the,
been
ChatGPT back
trying.
end.
They have already
No, yeah.
already started this invitation for the Bing search.
Yeah.
So
Not just that, but Microsoft has added this feature, ChatGPT feature or AI feature in Azure, as well as this Teams.
Teams, yes.
Teams.
Yeah, they have
Which
started to transcribe the meeting notes.
Yeah,
In a
exactly.
sense. So-
This
so-
is really
yeah.
cool.
Or
So
summarize the meeting notes, you mean.
Summarize the meeting notes.
Yeah, even
I mean,
summarize.
yeah. So you can listen to a meeting,
And
1 hour
action
meeting in
points.
half,
So-
The
10 minutes.
Yeah, transcribing was already
Yes,
present there.
yes.
They were detecting audio and then
Yeah.
writing sentences of what I spoke on
So
the meeting.
I read that they also did use some sort of accent points and then provide
Yeah.
those kinds of summary.
Yeah.
That's
Coming back to
quite
that-
quite good.
Yeah. Coming back to that, this topic about the IPR. So before this, also there was this, in the music industry, there is a lot of discussion about copyright, right? Because the whole industry of Spotify and all this is based on the IPR and the copywriting of that. So many music producers, I think they had this this problem that they come up with some sort of melody, and then they're like, okay, this is a good melody, and then they find out that okay, this melody is already pre-existing, and then they can't use that melody because it's copyright protected for something. So that had been an issue, but I think a couple of years back, and I tried to find that when I was looking at this. So some guys decided to write a script that produces every possible melody, right, in future. So like anything that has not yet been copyrighted, they went through all the permutation combinations of melodies.
brute force.
Yeah, and then they created all of them, and then they produced it, stored it on a hard drive, and let it out in public domain. So now, no more, in the future, any new melody cannot be copyrighted because it's already in public domain. So I was kind of thinking, what if this applies to the pictures, right? The stable diffusion and sorts. So I mean, like, it will be a massive endeavor compared to music, which is probably, on a, different, the space is different because we have the 256 colors GB, and then I'll spread it across the 2 dimensions of pictures, the X, Y axis, and have all that combination, but still is possible, right? Theoretically. And then would that then say that, after that, you create all sets of possible, patterns. I mean, it might depend on the resolution, but of course, you can get a, smaller version of the Mona Lisa, like, to pixel size, smaller, scale down. But could that, or I don't know, maybe you can even do algorithmic tricks to make it into more like vector graphics kind of thing. But would that then render all future art as non-copyrightable if they follow this kind of,
So there is one thing. So do you have to really produce it to be copyrightable? I mean, there is this potential to produce.
So is it, I guess the question is like, is
It
it
can
in the
produce?
public domain?
It can produce, and then is it even possible to produce anything like that? I mean, computationally. I think if you try to do that, then you probably burn all the data center of the entire world for 100 years.
It might be.
Yeah.
Like, so it
very-
depends on how computationally expensive it is. But they did it for music, right? So I don't know, compared to
Yeah,
that,
but
how far
yeah.
that will go, and then, when in future it will happen. It will definitely happen, quantum computing coming and all that, computation prices going down. But yeah, this is a, non-solvable problem, takes, thousands of light years.
No, but then also this melody. I mean, how long a melody that they are talking
Light
about
years
now?
is actually
Yeah.
distance. Sorry,
Distance.
my bad. Thousands of years.
No, I don't know how this melody would work then. Like, is it some like piece of length, like this much long, and they produce every possible combination of notes that can come there?
Yeah, I think we would have to look.
Yeah,
into
because
that
this is very
to grab
interesting,
where that
and
is.
then they even managed to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, maybe
Yeah,
sometime
that link
later.
is in the description as
Okay,
well.
this is very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, this is the music one was I remember this from 2020. Yeah.
Okay,
So-
but then it's amazing that it's even computationally feasible to do
Mhm.
anything like that.
But the same paradigm applies to this, right? And then
Yes,
and then
yeah,
why not
probably.
about video?
Yeah.
Then all Hollywood, this movies. Where does it end, right?
Yeah, wasn't that something that was streaming based on this AI streaming Seinfeld a couple of days ago in the news?
So in that sense, then there's no need for human creativity.
But then who is going to consume it?
So, okay, I guess
Who is going to
that
consume
raises
it?
an interesting question. That poses an interesting question. Okay, this is what I think. So, is human creativity, the purpose of human creativity to make money? No, right? Like, I mean, all great artists, like, they died poor. Well, historically, I mean, Van Gogh and kind of people in that kind of style. But, so, is there still a space for human creativity need, or will it still go away? That's a yeah.
Yeah, that would be a philosophical.
Yeah, this became from a tech talk it went
And non-tech.
Yeah, philosophical
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, should we jump into another topic, or?
Well,
Yeah.
I think this is really kind of interesting topic. This ChatGPT. I guess there will be more of these sort of things coming in future.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
And one other question is, how easy is it to replicate anything like this for someone else, like any other company? If they come up with their own version of ChatGPT, how would it be copyrighted now? Like
no, GPT-3 model. This is
Yeah.
from OpenAI, right?
Yeah, this is from OpenAI.
They have license. I think like they bought the whole OpenAI. I think Microsoft or put a majority stake in that one. So they are going to price it out for that, and they've already started. Because the general version of ChatGPT, you can't even the response is so slow. Like
Now you have to pay like $20.
There's a premium model already built in.
That's only for US
So
at the moment.
that's because somebody has to pay the bills for the huge data centers burning a lot of GPU bits, electron bits, moving those around. So yeah,
I think in the end, these big companies, they are the ones who are going to be benefiting from
Yeah,
this.
and I mean, it's all like all technology. In the early days, it will always be in the hands of few, right?
Yes.
But it's up to how the community, it's just like internet, like the ARPANET times, it was just meant for some communications of the few, but will it manifest, proliferate across the masses? That's
I guess it's just like change of paradigm. Like now, first the internet came, then the search engine, now the ChatGPT. So of course, new way of working and the new way of like searching things will come. So. Well, currently, like if in the Google also, you can Google lots of things, like even like whatever you find in ChatGPT, you can Google it and find it yourself. But it's just like ChatGPT just makes it.
It cuts the noise, right?
Cuts the noise, and then.
Just very precise answers.
yeah. I was telling my friend like the other day that it's basically like your Google search, but you always click. I'm getting lucky today. I feel lucky today, or something. There was a button, right? I don't know if it's still there these days. But
I think so.
Yeah. So when you type something, I don't know. I don't even see it now. But
no, you have to go to the homepage. So go to Google.
Yes.
I'm feeling lucky. Exactly. So this is my go-to. All right. So wait, no, I did not click that one. I need to do this first, and then I'm feeling lucky. Yeah, it just goes to whatever. Yeah, but what would ChatGPT say? The results from the ChatGPT API would be more like this is.
It will be a very long-winded answer.
Yeah, and then there's okay. So again, there's the other aspect. There's a huge debate about the biasness about it, and they are putting safeguards to control that it doesn't become too racist or what not, right? Security control, safety guidelines, and all that stuff. So that's also kind of now is interesting. But of course, Google search also has built-in safeguards against harmful content and things like that.
But for the Google, at least it has left to the users. Like it is on your corner, and then it's your decision to use it or not.
And it gives you the whole list.
Yeah. But for the ChatGPT, like you can just copy paste everything. So.
So AI powered by what? GPUs. So GPUs rely on semiconductors. Okay. So now, so basically, there was this news article saying that China has now been able to produce their 7 nanometer chips. They were at the 14 nanometer before, but now it's at 7 nanometer. But I believe this M1, Apple's latest chip, is already at 5 nanometer, and then the Taiwan Semiconductor is already investing in the 3 nanometer process. And then I'm not sure if the US has already blocked that to be that has to be manufactured in the US territories, or it is also possible to do it in Taiwan itself, because that has been it's now a sensitive area with all the.
But what about the equipment, this ASML?
That is the thing that is required for enabling 3 nanometer, right?
Okay, but they have their own version of the ASML, I guess, in China.
In the Chinese.
But that is not able to do 5 nanometer even today. I mean, eventually they will catch up. We can guess that, but today it's basically when will they catch up is the.
But how they have progressed from like 14 or 15 nanometer to 7 nanometer in one single year, then I guess it might not take that much time.
I think the whole this US blockade about they can't ship, NVIDIA cannot ship their new GPU cards or do the R&D or even like sell to NVIDIA can't sell, I think, to China or Chinese companies. So that probably was triggered from the fact that something happened when, and that's how the Chinese were able to go from 14 to 7.
In a span of 1 year, that is Impressive.
Yeah. Because generally it takes a long evolutionary path, this process evolution of the semiconductor. So yeah, that's gonna be quite interesting before we reach the quantum.
Then so the news is from August last year.
Yeah, the breakthrough. Yeah.
So I mean they might be quite far ahead already.
Probably. Yeah. Yeah. This is quite interesting.
So is China now going to emerge as the next semiconductor superpower?
And I think Samsung is also doing something in this area. One of the chief engineers from TSMC went to work in Korea. I think like he was a professor or something in one of the technology university there. But then they started some company to develop their own chips.
Well, I guess the result would be like now everything is focused on the Taiwan, so I guess it would be distributed like there will be Chinese, there will be Korean, there will be US made.
There will be American and there will be European.
Liberalized semiconductor.
Yeah,
because at one time it was like producing 80% of the world's
Yes.
advanced chips, right?
Yes, and I think that's a good thing. I think if it is going everywhere, I think we have.
Yeah, at least for the consumer like us, there won't be any scarcity of any equipments like we had like a couple of years ago. Like we need to wait for 1 year to get laptops. Or cars.
Cars, yes. The cars are still, there's a huge backlog of production line for the car industry still. The GPUs, I don't know, at some point the GPUs were so scarce, and then the Ethereum, the fork happened, or whatever.
I think the GPU, I guess these crypto miners, they were
using it a lot, but then the boom went down. NFTs also tanked, and then all the GPUs were in the market. The demand went up. There were second-hand GPUs available in the market. There was some video about this guy, like so they had this crypto farms, right? And then they were trying to sell it in the second-hand market because they wanted to shut down or something, and they were trying because they wanted to pass it as new or something. They were washing it with this pressure water, like.
You mean these chips?
The GPU cards
Really?
from the servers, like they're washing it like there's some small video. I don't know, it might be fake.
Pressure
washing them, and trying to again package it in a box and then pass it off as new maybe in eBay and. Yeah, at least the video made it made some rounds in the internet.
It reminds me of this Hindi serial where some lady, she washed her husband's laptop and then dry it on a rope.
Oh, yeah. Okay, and we are back again. We took a small break. So there was this some small article I just stumbled up, and there are some researchers where they did some research about how our fingerprints look like the way they do. I mean, we used to call this Sankha and chakras. So the thumbprints has unique shape. So Sankha and chakra. What's Sankha in English?
Shell.
Conch.
Yeah. Conch, and then the chakras like the circles ones. So we had we basically categorized it into two types. Like we used to count like how many sankhas we have and how many chakras we have, and based on that you used to have some sort of, I don't know, whatever you relate that with. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a saying like if you have chakras on all your 10 fingers, then you become a chakravartin.
Chakravartin.
Yeah.
Meaning
like a chakravartin king.
Okay. Like
universe king,
bound to
or
be,
have the solar king.
Yeah, no, who turns the wheel? So Chakravarti means that they turn the wheel.
So you become the ruler of the solar system.
Yeah.
So that so this article was about this, the swirls we get on our thumbprints and how they get our unique thumbprints. So there's some researchers, they identified some sort of proteins that like fight against each other. So because we have this this line is kind of like a ridge formation. So one is inhibiting the other. So one protein tries to raise the skin layers, and then the other acts on the other side. So they identified that, and but what was interesting?
Can you please accept the cookies?
You take my information, dear nature. It's a Nature article. I'll put that link also below. So
Whorls and arches and loops. So they have 3 words.
yeah. So and then so the idea was that like why does this take this unique shape? So they identified the reason is driven by 3 things because the development starts at the top circle part of the finger, and then the center. What is this thick line? The horizontal line, and then one factor at the center. So from the center it radiates out, and the way they grow interact with each other. Then what do you call it? Tussle kind of shapes the unique shape. It was like mildly interesting, but I just wanted to have that bestowed upon us this fine day. The maths of the pattern. Yeah. So like this. Yeah.
So they came up with some sort of model for generating these.
Yeah.
Maybe based on the protein behavior.
Yeah. So
nice.
All right.
So is it possible like in the future the AI can also model like what kind of food fingerprint other people may have, and then try to steal the data?
Commit some crime and put the fingerprint.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. All right. So, what next do we have?
I think talking about crimes, like 3D printers are quite efficient, and maybe in future they are efficient in replicating this fingerprint.
Is it possible to record the 3D prints for the fingerprints as well?
Well, you just need the printer to put prints everywhere to make somebody a culprit, right? So maybe there's a 3D printer that will.
That probably exists already. Maybe this spycraft stuff.
Yeah,
The only thing you need is a fingerprint database, and then you can print whatever you want with the 3D printer.
But we need a general available 3D printer that can, that you feed in near the material that is, as soft or whatever.
Well, it doesn't have to be soft. You just need to leave the prints.
Yeah, and also the detectors, the sensors where you put in, that needs to register that.
Well, at the moment, there's fingerprint lifting and opening your mobile phone with lifted fingerprint is quite possible. Using a cheap technology like
the cellophane tapes.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do it that way. Yeah.
So
if you put a sellotape in my finger and then put it on top of the
I don't know how that
phone,
works.
does it work?
I've seen it in the interwebs, right? In some movies or like that.
maybe you Google it, like how
what
to
they do is put the cellophane tape on your finger, and then it leaves a trace mark, right? So
then you have to reverse
they translate it to the sensor, and then.
But then you can just turn it around.
It doesn't work.
No, if you turn it around, the sticky part is not on the other side, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe it
So
needs
maybe
some sort of
this
like a pressure sensor kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe it was just in the movies,
But then you need some specialized something.
No,
more
I think
than
that there
just
are
sellotape.
quite many articles on like how to lift prints and stuff. Yeah, there are
but
many articles about it.
So, if some crimes can be committed, I think there might be some, let's say, legislation or restriction for it. For example, you cannot use a color photocopy to print currency notes, right? It refuses to do that. So there might be we might have to resort to these kind of restrictions. Okay, if it's some sort of fingerprint
This has to be the policy. Policy.
Someone who makes it.
Yeah.
Just a note to our viewers: we are not endorsing any crimes here, and
We're
we're
just
against
thinking
that.
random
We're
thoughts.
just talking about the technical.
Is it possible? We're more curious about this all
It's a
stuff.
curious bunch. Curious mind.
So what next?
So what's been going on? layoffs. You want to talk about the tech layoffs? I found this interesting side. I mean, they're like, people are making services out of this. Have you seen this? The websites that are, that gives you all the list of, layoffs happening around you.
That's quite interesting.
There's a bunch of charts.
TikTok India, okay.
Yeah.
Is there a TikTok India?
Layoff charts, lists of employees.
If you go
layoff.
back to the previous screen, wasn't TikTok banned in India?
I thought so.
But then
Yeah,
there is.
because TikTok consumption
But-
is banned.
Oh, okay.
They
They
might
still
have
have the
some
company.
some R&D going on maybe.
Yeah.
in the-
Oh, okay. Then. Is it?
So layoffs happening in the tech sector, especially. So basically, this stems from the fact that the root cause was that during the pandemic, they hired too much. So they were over optimistic because the tech consumption went super high. So the tech industry is like, okay, we have more demand, so we need to create more services for things, and then they hired a lot more people.
There was a great resignation as well, so more people was looking for more opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that led to overstaffing. Now, because of this inflation thing going on, the ad spending of the companies went down. And lots of these companies depend on the ad revenue. And then, so now the revenue goes down. And then, but the stakeholders, they want the same amount of profit. And how to make that is by cutting costs. And then the board is like, take out all the fat, and that's what led to more than 100,000 people being laid off.
But isn't the U.S. data, recent data from U.S. unemployment, is like there are less number of people who are unemployed?
Yeah, but then it's over all the sectors, job sectors. So this is just related with this tech sector,
so where
and
are
then
they being, employed in? Is it because of the growth of these freelance kind of jobs like this DoorDash and kind of?
Well, what I read was like this kind of tech sector jobs in the US. It was only 2% or 3% of total workforce in America. So
yeah, they make a huge amount of money, but then there aren't so many people employed compared to the whole economy. So
Yeah,
maybe
that's why, like,
in
lots of
raw
people are,
numbers.
spouting in the internet,
Yeah.
It serves them right. They were, earning too much during that time, and then, that's also
Yeah,
one
that's quite possible.
culture being developed.
Yeah, but I think it's all because of this economic outlook, because now everyone is predicting there is going to be a recession, and then because of this rising inflation, the consumer are not going to spend so much because
That has been reflected recently.
and
Like
then so the
Tech industries, their growth is quite significant, but retail industries, if you look at retail industries, they're
the revenues are quite high. I mean, they are making record profits, right?
not the retail industries.
Really?
They're going bad. Like if you look at this expensive bags, for example, Michael Kors and all, they didn't hit the market.
You mean these luxury products?
Yeah,
I
luxury
mean, they're
products
facing these effects of recession. You mean?
not the recession, but since it's inflated, so people are buying less luxurious products.
Ah, okay.
So that you can see that in their quarterly report.
Yeah, but then these retail, like these shops,
Yeah.
Like a
these
supermarket.
supermarkets, I think they're making record profits.
Well,
Now-
not in context of Finland. Like if you think about this Go supermarket, for example, it didn't make good profit because people switched to cheaper brands. So they moved to, for example, Lidl probably,
Or even bought things that where there did
Not
not
the-
have
not the
good-
premium
good
ones.
yeah.
margins,
So
yeah.
they posted quite depressing result recently.
Okay. Yeah, but then the thing, or the industry that is making record profit was this
Oil
Shell,
industry. Yeah.
or was it BP? Was it British Petroleum? Because they made like the biggest
Yes.
profit in history of the
I think
company.
it was Shell.
Or was it Shell or was it British? Well, I think it was Shell,
Yeah.
or either one of those two.
is it because of the production has increased, or is it because of the
No,
price?
the prices of oil has like gone so high, all these petroleum products, and then they must have like old contracts where they could buy it for cheaply, but then the market price is so high they are selling it for quite high margin. So But then there were these talks of like like taxing them with these windfall taxes. So I don't know how it's going to work out.
Okay, so this one, this is. Did you read about this one?
Yeah, I
No, not really. So okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
yesterday I think.
Wow.
This is quite fresh.
This is going to be.
I mean, this is a game changer.
big. Yeah.
And and also I don't know if it is a good thing for the people living there or a bad thing. Generally it tends to be that if somebody discovers natural resources in your area, it's not a good thing for you because then
Someone else is going to
so the
make
news
profit
is
out
that
of it. Yeah.
5.9 million tons of lithium deposits were found in Jammu and Kashmir.
And how much is that? Like if you put it in context, like,
I
or
think it's quite huge. I think the previous lithium was sourced from
like how much
Russia and,
lithium is consumed every year, maybe, or are the projects?
Let's dive deeper. If I can go through the ad wall. Okay, I guess.
It says 6
Yeah.
billion, 6.8
So
billion in 2021.
6.8 billion. Okay, so it's 5. Okay, yeah. Well, it's 5.9 million tons. The whole.
Yeah.
But isn't it like lithium? What is the main source of lithium here? Is it China or is it like even in Finland also they
Yeah, Chile was so. This is the countries with the largest lithium deposits so far. Is Chile has 9.2 million tons. Australia, well now India is
Now,
second.
okay. Oh, okay. It's that big then. Okay.
Australia, Argentina, Portugal, China, US. Yeah.
And then it's 5.9 million. So India had 0, and then it's like 5.9 million now.
Yeah. So I'll put
And
this in the.
it's found in the Jammu Kashmir? So is it now the disputed?
Yeah.
That's going to be very
Kashmir.
interesting.
Yeah.
Was it in Kashmir or not in Jammu, but in Kashmir?
They had already a bunch of issues going on in that area. Yeah, this was interesting. It's like, well, this is gonna be interesting in the sense that because all the electric vehicles are now on the rise, and what they run on batteries, and batteries need lithium. So
Yeah, but there are other things like how easy is it to extract? How extractable are these deposits?
from
And,
technology
yeah.
perspective,
From
okay,
practically
yeah.
and
But also there will
those.
be politics involved and all that, and it's already a very sensitive area.
Yes.
the Jammu and
So
Kashmir.
it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting.
By the way, talking about the India, so did you also get heard the news about like Adani Group lost $100 billion
Oh yeah.
in last 1 week or couple of weeks,
Yeah.
and then there is one company in US which investigate this kind of like a companies who is doing this kind of like a fraud or investigating and publishing it in the public. It's like a Panama Papers, but there is one financial company in US, and the main source of income for that company is like short selling.
Yes, and that seems to be the business of it exactly. I mean, they put such a bad news, but then they had this very short position on this Adani Group.
Yes.
So
And
they
then
published it.
And then this was not the first company. This was like one of many companies.
Hindenburg Research.
Hindenburg
Research,
Research, yes.
Hindenburg Research, yeah. So that has been quite interesting. So they found that these guys have been, been involved in doing, taking shortcuts and making their way through corruption and things like that, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a like 200-page paper asking lots of questions to Adani Group, like how you have done this one. So.
And I think the Adani Group has replied it
In
with
400
pages. But then the Hindenburg, this company said that only few questions were answered. So out of 88 or
I mean, for $100 billion, when that much amount is at stake, I mean, I guess you can find writers for crunching papers of 400.
Or you can ask ChatGPT to generate some
lots
fake.
of lawyers, yeah. write a poem on the Hindenburg report.
Write me a 200-page report on some other company, and then
Yeah, pointing fingers and discrediting establishments and shorting it at the same time. That's, I don't know, like, where's the moral ground where that stands for. Yeah,
but the research that it does is like credible. Like if it is telling the right thing,
yeah, of course.
then I mean, what is the
Otherwise it's not sustainable. It's just like one-time thing. They don't.
if it's trying to base their position on lies, then maybe there is a problem. But if they are telling the truth,
That's their business.
and then
business model.
trying to make business out of it, then I think they're clever. But yeah, there might be other.
Yeah, but then so there's this. So the reason I ask this is because, okay, so if it is a non-profit organization, like the Panama Papers. I mean, they were released by some organization, non-profit. The reporters worldwide or. But then they don't make money out of that. But this one is like, it has that aspect. Does that dilute or, spoil the intended outcome, or not intended outcome? Maybe the intended outcome was always that. So it's kind of like, do the results justify the means?
Yeah,
Or,
if they're making profit out of it, I think there is always this question of their credibility. So I think people will somehow, they should know what their interest is in the news, and then accordingly people should behave, right? I mean, they should not, let's say, they should disclose that, okay, they have this short position, so that should be like out, and when they publish these kind of results, and then people can make their own decisions. But then if they are, let's say, not talking about, okay, we have these short positions, but then we are only giving this bad news, then, I mean, the credibility is hampered, I think.
We're looking at the time.
This has been our Table Tech Talk, and hopefully, we'll see you next time. It's signing off from Helsinki. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you again. Bye.
Bye.